when the person leaves you and then they want you back, the most important of them wanting you back and them being back in your life, they'll want you back is the most important. How do they do that? A lot of times, it's like they're letting you back in their life. So pay attention to how that works out. Do they want you back? Or do they just let you come back? It's a big difference. It reminds me of like a job. You know, if you have a good job, or you're very happy in your job, maybe you have a lot of great memories, a lot of good connections, you've been there for years, and you're feeling very secure, very comfortable, you're doing nothing wrong, maybe you're not perfect, but let's just say that's similar to a relationship. So if your relationship isn't good, or if your relationship does have a lot of issues, or your relationship, you are this major problem, then yeah, this doesn't apply. But let's just say one's average relationship, there's just relationship issues. It's nothing unusual. It's nothing unmanageable. It's definitely nothing unreasonable. So let's just say it's a normal, basic relationship, and let's say there's other factors that are great and wonderful. That makes it even seem so much more. This is not just normal. It's a really good relationship with, the relationship issues that can be worked on. But the other things that are great about it really make it what the relationship's about. So if your job is kind of similar to that, you really like your job, there's really nothing wrong with your job. You have a lot of great things to say about it. Maybe it's not perfect. There's going to be issues. Maybe you have issues with whatever the situation is, or the people, or whoever. But the things that are great about it, it makes what the job, why you want to be there. So similar to a relationship that's like that. And then one day, your employer says, we don't want you as an employee anymore, or we no longer need you on this team. And maybe you've done nothing wrong, and maybe there really were no signs, or if there were, you're just like, I don't understand, there weren't strong enough signs. It wasn't obvious enough, if I'm going to even consider those signs. And they leave you. And during this process of leaving you, they're not really consoling you. And let's say you were with them for years and it breaks your heart. Just like if you were in a relationship. You're trying to understand. You become depressed. You feel like you're lost. See how this person treats you in this process. Do they care how you feel? Did they let you go easy? Was it difficult for them? Were they trying to be there for you during this process? How they let you go is how they felt about you all along. So if they let you go, they barely talk to you. Of course, the job's not going to talk to you after they let you go, but I'm trying to relate it. They're not going to, it's kind of similar though, because if the relationship is similar to a job, of course they're not going to call you, but they're no longer in touch with you. Or if they are, they're just like, you know what, I'm sorry, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And then one day, they say they need, all their stuff that you have, they'd let you borrow or you shared, So they take everything that they owned. Eventually you're without them and without any of the belongings that they allowed you to have or share or whatever. It's similar to a relationship. The person leaves you, they want their stuff back, blah, 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 blah. And then months go by, could even be weeks. You call them just to see how things are going and ask for an interview just so you can try to get your job back. Similar to a relationship. You're trying to get your relationship partner back. And they're like, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. But you get a good vibe. Like, they weren't mean, they weren't rude, they listened. So you feel like, you know what? That conversation went well. You try to have another one another time. And that goes well. Like, this is weird. Time goes by, and eventually they say, sure, have an interview, just like your partner would say, sure. We'll go on a date. And you're like, what the hell? This is fantastic. And eventually, they end up saying, we'll have you come back. It's okay, I think we made a mistake or whatever. But they don't really talk about how sorry they were. It's really not that big of a deal. They just have you come back. It's like everything was normal. You weren't important to begin with. You're not important now. If you were important to begin with, how they ended it, if eventually they take you back, means everything. That shows their true colors. Do they really give a shit about you? The second thing is, if they take you back, how are they taking you back? Are they just taking you back because they need you? Are they just taking you back because they find you rewarding somehow? And if so, are they sorry they let you go to begin with? That you were almost irreplaceable? Why would you go back? I mean, I get it. If it was like a job, well, you need money, blah, blah, blah. But you don't think that this could happen again? It's, you know, what can I say? Hopefully it works out. You know, that's all you can say. But if it doesn't, all you can do is blame the person. And hopefully they just blame themselves. I'm not saying dig a ditch and die in it. I'm just saying, look what you're allowing. You're contributing to it all. If it falls apart, you've contributed to that happening.